Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And as you can see, I am back this morning after yesterday when we had a massive power cut that seemed to last just all day. And so I didn't manage to get on air until quite late in the day. And the thing was, I never got a warning that the power cut was on the way. That was Boots. Now, the reason I'm showing you the garden at the moment is because I don't know if you can see this, but we've had the grass cut. Yeah, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. Spiro, the landlord's been reseeding, actually. He reseeds all the time. I'm amazed anything actually manages to grow because, as you can see, the chickens just revel in it. And it's all coming through. So it might be picnics on the grass in the summer when the weather is really good and it hasn't. And in fact, to be honest, the grass actually does seem to hang about quite a while, actually. So he's cut that one. He's also cut that as well there, and it's looking absolutely lovely at the moment. And nice to see Rachel tuning in, also Shane as well tuning in from Exmoor. Let's just quick look over the back of the hills to see what the weather's like. I've got to be honest, it's a bit dull today, not as nice as what yesterday was, but yeah, it is actually looking rather nice. Oh, I'm looking at the big dark cloud up there now at the moment. Yes, we have got some dark clouds on the horizon. I don't know what the weather's going to be like today. Hopefully Amanda will let us know what the weather's going to be a little bit later on during the broadcast once she realises I'm here. Big shout out to Graham Bint over there in Australia who's tuning in at the moment. I'm wondering if you're still having your heat wave over there at the moment or whether things have cooled down for you. Also Alf Ling is looking in as well. So that's the look at the weather over there. And I should have quickly just shown you what it's like over in the other direction. The chickens are amassing on the veranda as well. Bless them. They know when the... Oh, look at those dark, ominous clouds up there. And also up there in the top as well. Not looking good. So anyway, today's our day for going shopping at the moment. So looking across to Sillavi. Oh, blue skies over there. So Sillavi might not be too bad an area for today. But yes, it is looking a bit ominous. And the chickens are making noise. I'll tell you what I'm going to quickly do. I'm just going to quickly give them a quick feed. Got all the cats all trying to come into the house and all. Let's let you guys in, shall we? Let's let you guys in. There you go. There's Boots. And here comes Herbert out. Let's shake some food. Let's chuck it out for the chickens. There you go, chickens. Enjoy. There we go. That'll keep them quiet for a bit while we do the news. Because and yeah, Paul Bruff is tuning in. Happy birthday, Paul. Many returns. How is it up there in where are you? Yeah, I know you're at the north of the country. I'm trying to remember where it is. Poros, is that right? Poros. Anyway, let us know how things are up there. Oh well, I've just had a weather forecast from the lovely Amanda. She says, "Good morning, Ginge. Partly sunny with cloud. Highs of 16 degrees." Feel factor, I like that word, feel factor of 18. Have a great day. Thank you, my lovely. I will do. And I shall now get round and get on with the news. It was really strange yesterday. Thank you for all those people who are really concerned that I hadn't appeared on air. I hadn't been taken down. I hadn't gone down with the COVID. It's just we had a very annoying power cut, which we had no mention of yesterday. And it just happened and occurred. And it just went on. I'd even gone into town to do some admin, like post some letters and come back again, and the power only just returned at about 12:30, 1:15 in the afternoon. So yeah, so anyway, I'm here today. Right, a lot to catch up on. Let's have a quick look then. It's the 12th of March today, and it's a Friday. That means shopping at Lidl for us today. Also as well, yesterday, March the 11th, was the anniversary of the very first report of coronavirus here in Greece. And the next big anniversary that's going to come up will be on the... I think it's the 16th of March, which will be the first death anniversary from COVID as well. So I just thought I'd put that into context. So a year on and we're still here. Anyway, let's have a look at COVID in the last 24 hours then. Things are up and down is the best way to describe it. Yesterday, there were 2,570 new infections across the country, which was down from the day before where there was 2,633. That brings the total number of infections since the pandemic started to 214,661. Now, there were 7 new cases identified at checks into the country. That was exactly the same as the day before, so that's looking quite interesting. However, according to the national stats at the moment, there were 5 new cases in Lagana, 2 new cases in Kefalonia, 5 new cases in Corfu, and Zakynthos, according to the national stats, had 9 new cases here on the island, which is not looking good. However, when we start looking at the locally reported cases, it's actually 8 reported cases, so that might be catch up from the day before. All right. So Zakynthos had 8 new cases on Thursday, and the cases are as follows. A 22-year-old man, a 25-year-old man, a 64-year-old man, also a 17-year-old student as well, who had a contact with a confirmed case, a 23-year-old woman from an unknown source, a 78-year-old man who then was put into the corona clinic for observation because of his condition. And we also had a 25-year-old who came into contact with another 17-year-old student. So all in all, we had 8 new cases here on Zakynthos. One of those, the 78-year-old, was put into the coronavirus clinic for observation. No more information on the condition of that gentleman as to how he is faring. The rest of them have obviously been sent home, 14 days isolated, quarantine at home, and obviously they will have a test again at the end of their time in the actual in their isolation. So that brings our totals at the moment. And it's interesting about these totals is when I come on to another news item concerning the island, just listen to the numbers at the moment. Zakynthos has, by my reckoning, since the beginning of the year, had 142 positive cases here on the island. And this month, we've had 44 cases for the month of March, all right? We had 30 cases for January and 70 cases for February. And at the moment, March, we're at 44 cases, and it is now the 12th of March. So, again, just keep an eye on that. As for fatalities, okay, there's been 51 new deaths across Greece. That's up from 43 on the previous day, bringing the total number at the moment to 6,886. The average age of those people passing away is 79 years of age, of which 96% of those had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. And also, to put that in context, the average daily death rate in 2019 for Greece was 329 deaths a day. Anyway, just remember, we've only had 1 death here on Zakynthos since the beginning of the year, and that was in February, and that was a 70-year-old lady who had underlying health conditions and problems. Now, as it comes for critical cases, these are up, and these are causing alarm at the moment with the Greek media. Yesterday, critical cases went above the 500 mark to 506. That was up from 484 on the day before. 340 those are male, and 166 of those are female. Now, the average age of critical patients is 68 years of age, and 86% of them have underlying health conditions or are over the age of 70. Right, so there you go. Those are the stats then for today. Now, as I said, the number of incubated patients in Greek hospitals passes 500, with 51 daily deaths recorded yesterday. The pressure now on the health service is becoming unsustainable, according to the Greek authorities yesterday, especially in the Attica region, who have been very highly hit. And also it's looking at the moment in Crete also as well. Now, private clinics have been seconded to take critical patients, and for the third wave of the epidemic, as they're calling it. And this is being fueled by more infectious viral mutations, which is creating the worst situation the country has experienced so far. Jane and I were having a little discussion about this, about when we're going to get out of lockdown. I think we can see our lockdown now is going to continue a bit longer. I still feel we're going to come out of lockdown temporarily just for the big parade in Athens, which again the Prime Minister's gone very quiet on certain things at the moment, while this medical side of things is taking the forefront. Anyway, also as well, interestingly and also rather sadly, the youngest patient with coronavirus in Greece at the moment is a 5-day-old infant. This child was transported from the Alexandra Hospital of Aglia Koukou to the Children's Hospital in Athens in the early hours of Thursday. The baby had difficulty in breathing and therefore being admitted to the Aglia Koukou ICU. It was being nursed on an incubator. Anyway, according to reports from the Greek Health, if the baby conditions improves in the next hours, it was likely that he would then leave the ICU and be transferred to the COVID ward of the Hagia Sophia Children's Hospital. So once again, not heard any news on the child at the moment this morning. Did check, but nothing there at the moment. And you've got to remember that just a couple of days ago, we also had the death of a 34-year-old baby, again in Greece, that contracted the virus as well. Also, as well, the European Medicines Agency has approved the Johnson & Johnson vaccines for use in the EU, increasing the number to now 4 different approved vaccines. And again, we are still yet to see our vaccine arrive here on the island. Once again, remember, if you are 60 years of age, you are entitled for a vaccination. If you want it, then obviously go to your local pharmacy, see them, and book an appointment. I do know quite a lot of people have actually booked appointments. Right, news here on Zakynthos at the moment. Yesterday there was a car accident in Lagana. 2 cars collided head on, and looking at the pictures, I'm surprised that the people in that weren't very seriously injured. The violent collision between the 2 vehicles resulted in 3 people being taken to the Zakynthos hospital. No reports on the condition of the 3 people. However, both cars suffered serious damage, and I've got a feeling they're going to be technically write-offs. And the traffic police at the moment are carrying out an investigation into how the actual accident occurred. Anyway, going back to COVID again, locally for here on Zakynthos, speaking on Hermes Radio yesterday, the deputy mayor responsible for the issues concerning the pandemic of the municipality of Zakynthos, Mr. Spinos, spoke of his concerns and the unpleasant developments with the increased cases of coronavirus recorded since the beginning of the month in Zakynthos. He also focused on the increased number of cases in schools, reminding that the request that the municipality had submitted to the Ministry of Education a few weeks ago to suspend operation of schools did not receive a response. Anyway, regarding the incident that concerned the positive case of the municipality employee, the deputy mayor stated that the diagnosis was made by a test from the hospital last Tuesday afternoon, and that the Pacific employee had not been present in her service since last Thursday, as she was sent on leave. So that was an employee there that tested positive in the municipality building. Anyway, he did say that in the first, and I'm going to dispute some of his figures here. He did say in the first few days of March that there has been more than 45 cases. Well, I'm going to sort of say by my reckoning, we've had 42 cases. He said, while throughout January, we had 100. This is what he says, but according to my figures, I'd say we had about 70. So maybe he's looking at the national stat numbers rather than what's been going on the local ground, even though he says that he's in touch with the hospital. Anyway, he did note that a search was made. The people who should be quarantined in the area, in fact, he's talking about the municipality here, looking at the story. He said a search has been made of people from the municipality, and also all measures for quarantine have been put in place. And they've also put plexiglass into the municipality building to control entry for people going into the offices for services, etc. And he said he was anxious, but he said we have to be careful since there's an outbreak of cases throughout Greece. Now, the deputy mayor was also asked to comment on whether an analysis could be made of the sewage of the Dias in order to make a better impression of the extent of the pandemic. And this is something that I've been asking questions about, is why is there being no check of the sewage farm to see what the pandemic results are from there, because obviously, believe it or not, the wastewater is one of the best areas to actually judge where how the infection is in the population. However, according to him, he says that he's basically didn't really answer the question. He just basically said that the extent of he said these measurements are important in large urban areas. So in other words, no, they're not doing a check of the sewage, and basically he's not seeing it as an importance. However, as a curiosity, I thought it might be another little statistic that you could look at. Obviously, when you start looking at the amount of infections, and we have had a spike of infections, there's no getting away from it here on Zakynthos. He also said, in regards to the schools of Zakynthos, he reiterated that the municipality has no responsibility for the suspension of their operation. In other words, the municipality cannot take the decision to shut down the schools. He said that decision is taken at a central level, that's a higher level that's the regional level, and he said those measures will depend on the observations and recording of cases that occur in the daily population. He also said that 5 municipal employees have been quarantined also. And Mr. Spinos also referred to the regular communication that exists between the chairman of the infections committee of the hospital, Mr. Marcos, making it known that this year, in the first days of March, we had more than 45 cases. I make it 42 cases, while at the same time we had 110 cases in January. I actually made it 70. However, if you add the January and the February together, yes, you do get 100 odd cases, but I'm just thinking maybe he's a little bit not quite sure on his numbers and figures. Anyway, also, the other interesting thing that he also did raise as well was that another fact that, according to Mr. Spinos, has been recorded is that the fact that symptoms that confirm the transmission from one patient to another appear in direct case contacts more days after the contact with the case. So in other words, people who are in communication with somebody who's had the virus are not contracting as quickly as initially thought. It's taken a few more days to move forward. But he's also saying something which again is questionable at the moment. He said this may be a sign of a mutation in the virus, but at the moment we are only at the first observations. That to me is kind of ramping things up a little bit. At the moment, we've not seen any mutations at the moment. Yes, we do know there has been mutations in Patra of the Kent virus. There has been mutations over in Attica as well of the Brazil virus. There's only been one case of that reported, and the Kent virus as well. However, we haven't seen that here and had it confirmed on the island at the moment. So let's not jump to hasty conclusions. Let's wait and see what bails out. Yes, we have seen a change in the direction of the virus. It is affecting younger people, school children and babies as well. But at the moment, we are still a closed society here. We are locked down from the outside. We have had a spike, and a lot of that, I would think, is from people just not doing as they're told, still mixing with family members when they shouldn't be. But there are situations where it's difficult for people not to mix with family members just because of the way the Greeks live, with Yaya downstairs in the bottom flat, the older son in the middle flat, the next son up on the top flat. And again, like here, family being very close together, people in and out of each other's houses, and also helping each other as well, because obviously certain members of the family, especially the older generation, can't do things as easily, and they rely on their children to be able to bring them stuff and do stuff. So again, it's a very difficult thing, probably a lot more difficult social wise than maybe in the UK, where we're not as together in the way that Greek families are. Also, as well, some other good news from the MP of the island, Mr. Akapis. He's announced more modernisation of equipment in the hospital. The MP said in a statement yesterday that they are now going to start to upgrade the health services more at the General Hospital, which has been his goal. He said, we're in the moment we are processing new tenders for more equipment for the hospital. More significantly, they've managed to get the hospital into a new programme of finance, which is called the Coofahey programme. Yeah, bit of a wording. It's spelled COOFHEA, which has a budget of around about 200,000 euros at the moment. Anyway, as part of the programme, they're going to be trialsing equipment, which is interesting, which include monitors and defibrillators, wheeled monitors for measuring vital signs, portable oximeters, also portable electronic volumetric pumps for intravenous drugs, and also portable electronic pumps for intravenous and other oxygen flow machines, and also portable room disinfectants and even brain injury equipment as well. Now, the MP further stated, we renew and strengthen the responsibility and determination for the medical equipment of the General Hospital of Zakynthos, responding immediately to requests from the doctors and seeking others to further meet the needs of our hospital. We will not stop if we do not implement our overall plan in order to make our hospital an example hospital for the other regional hospitals of the country. So otherwise, the old MP is on his soapbox there, but he seems to be getting more money to the hospital and also getting more equipment in, which is needed, which means then that people don't have to necessarily leave the island to go to another part of the country like Rio in Patra, obviously for treatment, if they can have it here, which will make it easier on the families as well. Anyway, some good news. Yay! Yes, low-cost airline Ryanair announced yesterday new connection, direct connection from London to Zakynthos. Now, the flights will not start until the 2nd of July, so you've got a bit of time to start booking, and the flights are going to run from the 2nd of July until October the 15th, and the company will be operating from Stansted with 2 flights a week, one on a Monday and one on a Friday, so you could come for a quick week and whiz back again. Once again, this is a great news, because now it means we've got Ryanair and we also got EasyJet, both competing airlines with each other, both flying directly from the UK and flying directly into Zakynthos. Yes, we've had Ryanair flying here before, but not from the UK. So this is a real big plus. It's been very rare to get an island that will have both Ryanair and EasyJet flying directly to their location from the UK. Normally they're coming to the island from different angles, different locations, but to have a direct link between the UK with Ryanair into Zakynthos could be the herald of maybe more flights from Manchester with Ryanair, maybe more flights from Bristol with Ryanair. Again, it could mean this could be the start of something big. And again, I do remember way back when we were campaigning to get Ryanair here. And I remember an interview with Bernie Berger back in, God knows, 2008, of trying to get direct flights here. There always seemed to be like a little bit of a gentleman's agreement going between Ryanair and EasyJet. You do that there, we'll do that over here, but times have changed, and it might mean that we're going to see more from Ryanair as direct flights coming in, and as long as the price is right, that is what it will all be down to. Okay, so again, that is a really good positive story for today. Now, and finally, yeah, the Greek countryside can provide a plethora of foods and herbs which have been used since ancient times and are proven to boost the health diet to better defend our immune systems. So what are these superfoods that could even help defend you from COVID or even other nasties that are lurking about in the atmosphere? Well, I'm going to give you 3 of them. There is 10 of them, but I'm going to give you 3 of them today, and I'll give you some more tomorrow. All right. And I'll guarantee that some of you may already be using these but don't realise what they do for you. So the first one is extra virgin olive oil. We've got it coming out of our ears here. It is what the Greeks call green gold. The Zakynthos olive oil is some of the best in the world, and to be honest, it is absolutely fabulous, and it is good for, guess what? It's great for protecting you against a range of heart diseases. It also includes heart attacks and strokes as well. It's very good for thinning your blood and battling you against that. It's also, believe it or not, and I never knew this until this morning, it's also believed that it can also help against the fight against breast and rectal cancer as well. Also as well, and I never knew this until this morning, the Helicobacter, or that's within the olive oil, actually helps with stomach ulcers. If you suffer from stomach ulcers, it helps to fight the acids within the stomach ulcer and calms it down, and obviously makes you feel a lot better in your stomach, all right? Also as well, believe it or not, if you suffer from diabetes, the actual olive tree leaves are considered to be a superfood, and it helps reduce blood pressure and sugar levels in the blood as well. So there you go, absolutely fantastic. So extra virgin olive oil. Now, the other great thing to use is Greek honey, proper Greek honey, which is called thyme honey. Now, besides having a delicious taste and a rich texture, both hard to find in other honeys as well, but thyme honey has an incredible antimicrobial, I'll say that, qualities, which some believe also prevents things such as where is it? I've lost it there. It prevents things like cancer through its stuff as well. Also as well, the bright orange means a concentration of antioxidant agents which will be higher and therefore more effective. So if you likely a good way to prevent yourself getting stomach cancer is have yourself some honey, all right? It's good for you, all right? And also the other thing, now I've got to be honest, I haven't seen much of this here in Greece, but I do know it's a Cypriot thing, and that is carob, all right? The old carob trees. Now, I remember many years ago when I used to be in the RAF serving in Cyprus. I served there for 9.5 years. An old flight sergeant called Mel Bomfield used to swear by carob and used to make things like carob tea. But anyway, it seems that the old carob tree is rich in minerals and vitamins, and also particularly it's high in calcium and also protein and fibre. And carob has been considered a digestive, while it also contains antioxidants and polyphenols as well. And it also has an alkaline effect on the body and PhD. And it's also considered, get this, it's also considered an aphrodisiac as well. So there you go. He was probably taking it for the wife. So there you go. So get yourself a little bit of carob tea. I'm not sure if we have carobs here. I do keep a lookout for them. I do remember in Cyprus that all the goats would just love the old carob trees, and they would be there literally climbing in the trees to eat the carob leaves. But anyway, there you go. And that could be where the saying of Randy as a goat comes from, because I've been eating carob leaves. Right, okay, let's have a quick look at who's been tuning in this morning. I can see a few little messages here coming up online. Rachel Harrison, hello, how are you? Sean Bowen over there in Exmoor. Graham Binton, Australia, tuning in. Alf Ling as well, tuning in. Shane Bowen says, Gallimera Ginge, wishing everyone a great weekend. Can't wait for your shows later. Oh, cheers for that, fella. You've just actually prompted me. Don't forget, I've got my live broadcast here. Yesterday, I did do a broadcast just for the news, just to test my upline streaming. And yes, it now seems my show did get stored that I did yesterday, even though I didn't put it online. It did get stored to Mixcloud, so I'm relieved about that. I've also been playing with my skins a bit. that sounds ominous. Playing with my skins a bit to put my details in, and it took me hours, but I managed to do it in the end, and I was so chuffed. So all my details will be on my page as you watch it and you view my shows. You can see all the information and that come up. So I'm chuffed about that. And also as well, I've got my dance anthem show, which is going to go out tonight. UK time, 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock UK time. Don't forget, it's 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock, my first show, my live inspiration show. And then 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock from the UK, dance anthems on beatsradio.co.uk. And the show's going to be repeated the same time on Saturday as well. All right. So again, tune in for those shows. And if you want any requests or dedications, people have already started sending me requests and dedications for today's show. Just drop them down below and I will play those. But anything for my dance anthem show, again, you can pop that in and just put dance in brackets. I know, Shane, that you've also asked for a tune which I will stick in, but I did put it in on and what a great tune as well, Pendulum, I put in there for you. All right, but thanks for that. Paul Bruff is also watching. I do know it's Bruffy's birthday today. I sent a quick happy birthday to him. Amanda is tuning in. Lovely to have you tuning in. Nice to see that the pups are on the mend as well, which is good. Unfortunately, you did lose one of those as well, bless you. But I'm glad to see that the others are making good. Julie Meldrum, Jerry Coyle is watching as well. Nice to see you as well. I've just lost my pictures. There we go. Jerry Coyle says, looks like that in Mansfield at the moment. What, with the grass? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Or about infection rates. Anyway. Sarah Stirrup says, hi from the UK. Nice to have you, Sarah, tuning in. I think you're a new person. Christine Brown is also tuning in as well. Paul Braffy said, morning, Ginge. Poros is midway up the east side of the Peloponnese, not the north. Thank you for that. Thank you for your birthday wishes. I have a fun packed day planned, complying with COVID regulation and restrictions. Bless you. It makes you wonder what it's going to be. No stand-up coffees. Are you going to have a stand-up coffee, are you, somewhere? We are missing being able to go out and do stuff. And especially this weekend, which would have been our carnival weekend, where everybody would have been having an absolute hoot and a roar on Sunday. And again, Sunday would have been the big day for carnival. Don't forget my dance anthem show. Again, tonight is carnival inspired. And the tunes in there is just so what goes on here during the Sunday, all right, which we're not going to experience this year. Hopefully we'll have it back next year. And I do know Cyprus, Limassol are going to be parading their Carnival King in secret. So again, Wiggy, if you're tuning in, mate, check out on that. Let me know how that goes. It'll be interesting to see what the outcome of that is. And who knows, maybe they might parade our Carnival King in secret here in Zakynthos on Sunday. But we'll wait and see if that happens. One thing about the tradition of that is they also burn the Carnival King at the end of the Carnival Parade. Once he's done his little 2-week stint, they take him out at the end of the Carnival Parade and they set fire to him to say goodbye, ready for the next year. And we'll see what happens, all right? Anyway, Heather Flynn is watching as well. John Mims is watching. Bob Monroe's watching. Denise Williams is watching. Andrew the Fridge Watkins is looking in. Also, Aaron Vardy, or Reg Vardy as we like to call him. Hey, he's tuning in as well. Tunes for you as well in the shows. Tim Crystal is watching as well. Ian Daly is also watching. Nice to have you tuning in, Ian. Alan Woodhouse is watching. Graham Chisholm is watching. Amanda Gregory says the pups are doing well, eating and putting on weight now. Bless. Good news. And Aaron says, good morning, Ginge. Jerry Coyle says, update now. Cats and dogs and our site flags will be with you shortly. Please return first class. Oh, bless you. Update. Cats and dogs and our site flags will be... Oh, I shall look forward to that. I really will. Thanks for that, Jerry. I appreciate that. Christine Plant is watching as well. Brett Weston is watching as well. Sarah Stirrup says... that's great, Amanda Gregory. Brilliant. So people are passing messages between. Lyndon is there. He's not on his allotment at the moment. Nice to see you tuning in. Christine Wildridge. Linda Gary is watching. Also, Chris Clark. Tim Crystal's watching. Thank you for your messages concern yesterday, mate. I'm still here. I'm still doing stuff. Thank you. Andrew Patrick Venels is watching as well. Linda Gary's watching. Morning to you and Jane and Steve. And Squirrel Steve says, haha. Yes, naughty Squirrel Steve. And thank you for your requests as well. Tim Crystal says, is Wizz Air not direct from Gatwick now too? Yes, Wizz Air has been going from Gatwick and also been going from Luton. As well, from what I can remember, and I think they were doing Stansted as well. But again, if we got Wizz Air, we got EasyJet, we got Ryanair, that's 3 low-cost airlines to get people here, get people in the accommodation, and obviously let's get some kind of a season going. Hopefully 17th of May, Boris is going to let people go, and fingers crossed we could be back at work. And again, I've not heard anything about the Dutch market. The Dutch market is normally our first good crowd to come in terms of numbers. And I know where we are in Magdalena's bar, we are surrounded by hotels now that are mainly Dutch guests in them. And so depending on them coming, if they come early, we may open before the 17th. But again, we're waiting to see who comes and the numbers that are coming, like every other business here on Zakynthos at the moment. Anyway, Sid James is watching. Thank you, Sid. Linda Gary, it's also Popeye's girlfriend. Okay, fair enough. I've lost there. Rosewood is watching as well. Maria Holberg from Sweden is watching. And Philip Ellis is also watching as well. Right, I better go. Otherwise, I've been rambling on and on. Today's the day. Don't forget the broadcast, 3 o'clock UK time. My Request and Inspiration show, which will be show number 19 or 20. I know that I missed a number really because of not getting the show up onto Mixcloud, but I'm going to go with the number what it should have been, because the show did go up onto YouTube. I think now it's been blocked on YouTube. I did have some feedback from some people, but anyway, I'm back broadcasting again, 3 o'clock UK time, 5 o'clock Greek time. And then don't forget, as soon as I finish that broadcast from here, I kick off them on beatsradio.co.uk with my dance anthem show, which is all carnival kind of orientated, and some banging tunes on there. You'll be blowing your whistles and marching up and down and around your front room listening to some of those tunes. And I know those tunes will be blasting across Exmoor as well tonight, and the old later buzzards will be flying around watching old Shane over there in Exmoor. Anyway, I'm going to have to go. Oh, and also I just had a message. Sarah Stirrup is doing a fundraiser for the pups. More information on that. Just post that onto my, that's the Medium thing, I think. Just put it up on my Facebook page, Amanda. That would be the easiest thing. And if anybody wants to get involved in that. And also this Saturday as well, Opus are doing a special online festival. I did send out loads of invitations to that yesterday. So if you got one of those, fantastic. If you didn't get one of those, I do apologise. But I've got over 4,500 people on my Facebook page, and it gets a lot. They don't let you just send it all in one go, which is a shame. So I've sent as many as I could, but Opus are doing a festival online on Saturday evening. It looks interesting. Opus are going to be playing live on that as well. And also don't forget, we're hoping that Opus might be doing a concert here in the summer. That is still in abeyance at the moment, and if they do, we'll let you know about that. And again, they've got their final farewell concerts in Graz in December of this year, which Jane and I are really hoping we're going to get there as well as quickly as we can. At the end of the season, we're going to go to Graz and obviously go for that festival, or their 2 days of concerts at the Opera House there, which have been awesome in the past, and we've been to a couple of them and they've been fantastic, as they say goodbye to the music business after, I think, nigh on over 40 odd years. So anyway, I better go because I don't want to keep babbling on. Anyway, you take care, you have a great day, and I will see you later. Ta-ra.